such as to the moon, they can only take a small amount of stuff with them of personal items. Obviously, their food and their equipment and stuff isn't included in that, but they're only given a very tiny space to store any stuff that they want to take personally. What astronauts take with them is often very personal and not necessarily shared with the public. However, it is so restricted on size and also on weight that they really have to think carefully about what they take. So, in this spreadsheet, I invite you to think about what you would like to take to the moon in your personal amount. Now, you can only take up to 1.5 kilos of weight, or 1,500 grams in weight. And we've got a couple of astronauts here that we're going to work through, and then you have your opportunity to add your items here. Now, if we have a look at this spreadsheet, we already have two tabs at the bottom. One that says Moon Kits, which is the one we're on, and the one that says Items. If we click on Items, we will see that there is a list of personal items already filled in with their relevant weights. You will notice that the weights are just numbers and the unit is just stated at the top. This allows the spreadsheet to do calculations. Here is a suggestion of personal items in this list and their weight value beside. Now, if we go back to the Moon Kits here, we will see that there is already Astronaut A's items filled out with the weights. If we click on the iPad, we will notice it's not been typed in. It has used a formula to bring through that item, and the weight has also been brought through, but we will come back to that later. First of all, what we need to do is we need to work out the total number of grams for taking an iPad with them. Well, we were having an 800 gram iPad and we're only taking one, so you might suggest, well, I could just type in 800, but what we want is a formula that would automatically update if, for instance, they decided to take two iPads. So we're going to type an equal sign, we're going to click on the weight, we're going to multiply, and then we're going to go click on the quantity and press enter. Now, it has suggested an autofill. As you can see, the value here is not correct. So we're going to say no to that for the moment and just remind ourselves how to autofill by clicking back on the cell that we've just done the formula in and dragging down the blob in the corner. We want our grand total at the bottom here, so we're going to use a sum formula. So we're going to head up to our functions button, we're going to choose sum, and then we're going to highlight the cells that we want to add up and press enter, and we see our grand total is 1,350, which is below the limit of 1,500. More about that in a bit. On astronaut B, we have got no items there at the moment, so we're going to add the following items for astronaut B. To do this, we're going to use our formula to get information from one tab to another, because we have our list of items here with all of the items and the weights. The good news is that apart from having to do for each individual item, we can get the weights to pull through without us having to automatically do the formula. Okay, so in item in cell A13, we're going to press equals, and we're going to head down to the item, and we're going to choose the telly and press enter. We're going to go into cell A14, we're going to press equals, we're going to pick the journal and press enter, pick the pen. And you will have noticed that I'm doing this individually for each one. However, the items are in the same order. So because I want to add the book and the family photo as well, what I'm going to do is return to here, go to where pen is, and I'm going to drag the autofill down by 2. However, the last item that I want to add is the playing card. So we're going to press equals, and we're going to click on the playing cards. Now we need to get the weights. We could put the formulas in again by pressing equals, but we can just autofill across. So we go to the teddy and autofill across, journal, pen, book, family photo, and playing cards. Quantity. Now for quantity, we will just decide on what we want to add in. So I imagine one teddy, one journal, pens might run out, so let's say 3. Let's take one book for the moment, and family photos, let's say they want to take 5 of them, and one pack of playing cards. We need to do a multiplication formula in here, And also fill down. We're going to reject that suggestion for the moment. Down, and then do our grand total with the sum formula. So there is another way that we can do the sum formula. Is we can highlight the cells that we want to add up and then go to the functions button and press sum, and it will automatically have populated it for us. So we have a grand total of 1,195, which means that we can afford to take a few more things. So let's say that we're going to take 2x. Okay, that takes us just below our maximum of 1,500 grams. So the last thing that we want to do is to visually show that we're getting close to these targets. So to do that, we can use a thing called conditional formatting, which will change the colour of the cell according to the number that is in it. We'll do these on these two, and then I will let you do your own items. Let's click in cell D9 to begin with, where you can go up to the Format menu, and we can choose Conditional Formatting. This brings up an extra menu at the side, and you'll notice it's automatically gone green because the default is not empty. So in the format rules, we're going to take format cells if, but we're going to scroll down and we're going to say less than or equal to. And we're going to choose the value of 1,450 because that is nearly the limit that we want to do. What we're going to do is like a traffic light kind of symbol. So we're going to say at 1,450, that will be a green, and we're going to go to amber, and then we're going to red once we've hit the limit. Okay, so we're going to press done. You will notice that it is still green, but we need to add a couple of other rules. So we're going to add another rule, and we're going to choose this time is less than or equal to, and we're going to choose 1,499. Where it says the formatting style on the green here, we're going to click and choose the yellow, which is automatically set up for us, and click done. And then finally, we're going to add another rule, say format cells if greater than or equal to 1,500. Again, clicking on this green bit, choosing red this time, and pressing done. Now you'll see it still remained green, when of course it will do, but if we were to, for instance, decide to take 2 iPads, you will see that we are now in the red. And let's say we want to take another family photo, 5 family photos, there we go. Now we are in the 1,455, so we've gone yellow. So if we restore it back to however many it was, 10, there we go, and that is done. Now we need to do that conditional formatting again on here. So this has also formatted. Because we're so close, it has picked up that. Let's say if we add another 2 family photos, we've gone over. For you, what I would like you to do first is to go to the Items tab, and I would like you to add some more items to the list that you would like to add. You can always include some of the stuff that is in the list already, but I would like you to add some items and some reasonable weights. No 0 weights, no 1 grams. Add a weight. If you're not sure how to add a weight, estimate based on the numbers here, or even have a little quick Google to see what an average weight for something would be. So adding some things in here, for instance, you might take a scarf or a pin badge, or maybe you'd like to take something else that was edible. We've got a chocolate bar there that we haven't used. Then what I would like you to do is to use your formula here with the equal sign, clicking on the item, clicking on the name, to grab the item that you want, putting it across, doing the weight, putting a quantity in, working out the total number of grams, and work out the grand total, and then add the conditional formatting onto the cell.